The massive research vessel hovered silently above Earth's long-forgotten Pacific Ocean, its advanced sensors penetrating the murky depths below. The alien crew had been conducting their routine archaeological survey for weeks now, documenting the remains of human civilization that had flourished on this blue planet thousands of years ago. On this particular morning, something different caught their attention. One of the junior researchers, a young Zaxur with bright purple scales, noticed an unusual reading on their instruments. The energy signature was unlike anything they'd seen before. A massive metallic structure buried deep beneath centuries of ocean sediment. The ship's captain, an experienced elder with silvery patterns across their scaled skin, immediately called for a full stop. The entire research team gathered around the main viewing screen, their four-fingered hands adjusting various controls to get a clearer picture of what lay beneath. "This is extraordinary," whispered the captain, their translator struggling to convey the mix of excitement and disbelief in their voice. The scans revealed the unmistakable shape of a warship, but not just any warship. This was a legendary battleship from the period humans had called World War II, a time of incredible conflict that had always fascinated alien historians. The Elder Council was immediately notified. Within hours, the research vessel was joined by 3 more ships, each carrying specialized equipment and expert xenoarchaeologists. As they began their careful excavation work, more details emerged about their amazing find. The sheer size of the vessel was staggering. Even by modern Zaxur standards, it was an impressive feat of engineering. How had humans managed to build something so massive with their primitive technology? The question buzzed through the research team like an electric current. As they cleared away the sediment using their gravity beams, the name of the ship slowly became visible through their enhanced imaging systems, U.S. Missouri. The alien researchers couldn't hide their excitement. They had read about this vessel in the fragments of human historical records, but seeing it in person was something entirely different. What made the discovery even more remarkable was the ship's state of preservation. The cold, oxygen-poor environment at the bottom of the ocean had protected much of the vessel's structure from decay. It was like finding a time capsule, perfectly preserved for future generations to study and understand. The captain decided to set up a permanent research base around the site. Floating platforms materialized around the excavation area, filled with curious alien scientists eager to uncover the secrets of this ancient human war machine. Their tentacle-like sensor arrays gently probed the ship's hull, gathering data about its composition and construction methods. As the first day of discovery drew to a close, the research team couldn't help but feel a deep sense of respect for their long-gone human predecessors. Here was proof that even with limited resources and technology, humans had managed to create something truly remarkable. The Elder Council members, watching the preliminary reports from their distant chambers, began to wonder if perhaps they had underestimated the capabilities of ancient human civilization all along. Little did they know, this was just the beginning. The U.S. Missouri had many more surprises in store for them, secrets that would challenge everything they thought they knew about human ingenuity and determination. As the alien sun set over Earth's ancient oceans, casting a purple glow across the research platforms, the team prepared for what promised to be the most exciting archaeological expedition in recent galactic history. The captain looked out at the massive silhouette of the battleship emerging from its watery grave and felt a shiver run down their spine. Something told them that this discovery would change not just their understanding of human history, but perhaps the very way their civilization viewed technological progress itself. Word spread quickly through the galaxy's scientific community about the incredible discovery on Earth. The head researcher, a respected alien scientist with decades of experience studying ancient civilizations, couldn't sleep the night before the detailed investigation was set to begin. This wasn't just another dig site. This was a chance to touch a piece of human military history that most had only read about in historical archives. The morning started with the arrival of a specialized team of xenoarchaeologists from different corners of the galaxy. Some had traveled for weeks just to be part of this historic moment. They brought with them the most advanced scanning equipment available, determined to uncover every secret the U.S. Missouri held. As the team prepared their equipment on the floating platforms surrounding the massive battleship, they couldn't help but feel small next to the enormous vessel. Even after thousands of years underwater, its imposing presence commanded respect. The morning sun reflected off their protective suits as they carefully began their work, their movements precise and deliberate. The first challenge was getting inside without damaging anything. They used special light-based cutting tools to carefully clear away centuries of coral growth and sea debris. Every piece they removed was carefully catalogued and stored. Even the smallest bit of marine life that had made the ship its home could tell them something about how long it had rested here. What amazed the team most was how well thought out the ship's design was. Despite having what they considered primitive technology, humans had created an incredibly efficient layout. Every space had a purpose, every corridor led somewhere important. The alien researchers found themselves constantly stopping to take notes, their recording devices working overtime to document everything they saw. One of the younger team members, fresh from the academy, made an exciting discovery in what appeared to be the ship's command center. Hidden beneath layers of sediment, they found a perfectly preserved compass and several navigation tools. The team gathered around, their eyes wide with wonder. These simple instruments had guided this massive vessel across Earth's oceans with remarkable accuracy. The ship's massive size wasn't just for show, it served a crucial purpose. As they explored deeper into the vessel, they discovered room after room of machinery, living quarters, and storage spaces. The aliens were particularly fascinated by how humans had managed to create comfortable living spaces within such tight confines. They found mess halls where sailors once ate together, sleeping quarters where they rested, and even recreational areas where they spent their free time. Their scanning equipment revealed something unexpected: traces of human DNA still preserved in various parts of the ship. These microscopic remnants told stories of the people who once walked these corridors, worked these machines, and lived their lives aboard this floating city of steel. The team treated these discoveries with profound respect, knowing they were touching the legacy of countless human lives. As the day progressed, more and more details emerged about the ship's construction. The welding techniques used to join the massive steel plates together were surprisingly sophisticated for their time. The alien researchers found themselves revising their previous assumptions about human engineering capabilities during this period. The team worked until the sun set, their floating lights casting long shadows across the ship's deck. In just one day, they had barely scratched the surface of what the U.S. Missouri had to teach them. As they packed up their equipment for the night, there was an air of excitement about what tomorrow might bring. Each team member knew they were part of something special, a project that would change their understanding of human civilization forever. Back in their research vessel, the team spent hours discussing their findings, comparing notes, and planning the next day's exploration. They knew that somewhere in this ancient warship lay secrets that could revolutionize their understanding of human ingenuity. The question wasn't if they would find more surprises, but when. The third day of investigation brought the biggest surprises yet. The alien research team had finally managed to access the battleship's main weapon systems, and what they found left them speechless. The massive 16-inch guns that once defended this floating fortress were engineering masterpieces far more advanced than anyone had expected. One of the senior researchers, their scales shimmering with excitement, carefully ran their scanning device over the huge gun barrels. The readings made them double-check their equipment, sure there must be some mistake. But there wasn't. These weapons, despite being completely mechanical, could hit targets accurately from miles away. The team huddled around the displays, trying to understand how humans had achieved such precision without modern technology. The gun turrets themselves were like small buildings, multi-story complexes filled with machinery that worked together in perfect harmony. Deep inside, they found the old mechanical computers used for targeting. These devices, made entirely of gears and springs, could solve complex mathematical equations in seconds. The alien weapons specialist on the team admitted that even with their advanced technology, they couldn't help but admire the elegant simplicity of these solutions. In the ammunition storage rooms below, they discovered massive shells, each weighing as much as a small vehicle. The team was amazed by the elaborate systems designed to move these huge projectiles from storage to the guns above. They found a complex network of hoists, elevators, and pulleys that could quickly move ammunition wherever it was needed, all powered by nothing more than steam and human muscle. The most fascinating discovery came when they found an intact firing control center. Here, humans once coordinated all the ship's weapons using what seemed like basic tools to achieve remarkable results. They found rangefinders, targeting computers, and communication systems that worked together to make the Missouri one of the most accurate battleships of its time. One of the younger researchers noticed something interesting about the ship's armor. The thick steel plates weren't just slapped together. They were carefully angled and layered in a way that maximized protection. It was another example of how humans had overcome their technological limitations with clever design. The team spent hours documenting these defensive systems, amazed by how effective they must have been. As they explored deeper into the weapon systems, they found something unexpected: personal touches left behind by the human crew. There were handwritten notes in the margins of instruction manuals, small modifications to make equipment work better, and even some old good luck charms still attached to the machinery. These small details reminded the alien researchers that this wasn't just a weapon, it was a home to thousands of humans who had lived and worked aboard her. The team's historian was particularly excited about finding intact documentation about the gun's maintenance procedures. These papers showed just how much work went into keeping these massive weapons operational. The level of detail in the maintenance logs was impressive, showing that the human crew took immense pride in keeping their ship ready for action at all times. By the end of the day, the research team had gathered enough data to fill several databases, but they felt they had only begun to understand the complexity of the Missouri's weapon systems. What impressed them most wasn't just the technology itself, but how humans had managed to make such complicated systems work reliably with the limited tools they had available. As the sun set over the excavation site, the team gathered for their daily briefing. The discussion was more animated than usual, with researchers from different specialties all eager to share what they'd learned. Everyone agreed on one thing: they needed to completely revise their understanding of human military technology from this period. What they'd seen wasn't just impressive for its time, it was impressive by any standard. The day's discoveries had raised as many questions as they'd answered. How had humans manufactured such precise equipment with their limited tools? How many other technological achievements had they overlooked? The team went to bed that night with their minds racing, eager to see what other secrets the Missouri would reveal tomorrow. News of the U.S. Missouri discovery spread like wildfire across the galaxy. The Elder Council's emergency session was unlike anything seen in recent memory. The Grand Chamber, with its soaring crystal ceilings and floating platforms, was packed with representatives from every major world in the Confederation. The head of the research team stood before them, their voice steady as they shared the latest findings. Behind them, massive holographic displays showed detailed scans of the battleship. The council members leaned forward in their seats, their expressions a mix of disbelief and wonder as they saw the evidence of human technological achievement. "We were wrong," the research leader began, causing a ripple of murmurs through the chamber. "We've long thought of Earth's World War I period as primitive and technologically limited. The Missouri proves otherwise. These humans achieved things with mechanical systems that we thought impossible without advanced computers." The presentation continued with detailed analysis of the ship's capabilities. When they showed how the targeting systems worked, several council members shook their heads in amazement. One elderly council member, known for their skepticism, stood up and demanded to know if the findings had been verified. The research team responded by sharing even more detailed scans and data, leaving no room for doubt. The implications were staggering. If humans had been this advanced in their military technology, what else had the alien civilization misunderstood about Earth's history? The council chamber buzzed with excited discussions as experts from various fields began to reconsider their own research about human civilization. A weapons specialist from the outer colonies pointed out something that silenced the room. "Look at the date of construction," they said, highlighting the information on the main display. They built this vessel in less than 3 years. With their technology level, that should have been impossible. Yet the evidence was right there. Humans had not only designed this massive warship, but had found ways to build it quickly and efficiently. The discussion turned to the social implications. How had humans organized their society to achieve such feats? The Missouri wasn't just a triumph of engineering. It represented an incredible level of cooperation and coordination. Thousands of people had worked together to design, build, and operate this vessel. One council member, their scales shifting to a thoughtful blue color, brought up an interesting point about human adaptation. The battleship showed how humans could take basic principles of physics and engineering and push them to their absolute limits. They didn't wait for perfect technology. They found ways to make existing technology work better. The emergency session stretched into the evening as more data came in from the research team still working at the excavation site. Each new piece of information seemed to challenge another assumption about human capabilities. The Council's historians were already talking about the need to revise their understanding of Earth's technological timeline. Towards the end of the session, the youngest council member raised a question that made everyone pause. If they could do this much with so little, what could they have achieved if they'd had our technology? The question hung in the air, making many shift uncomfortably in their seats. As the session concluded, the council made several unprecedented decisions. They tripled the funding for the Missouri Research Project and ordered a complete review of all historical data about human civilization. They'd also initiated a new program to study human problem-solving methods, believing there might be valuable lessons in how humans approached technological challenges. The news quickly spread beyond the council chambers. Within hours, educational institutions across the galaxy were requesting access to the Missouri data. Scientists began planning new research projects, and engineers started studying human mechanical systems with renewed interest. What had started as an archaeological discovery was quickly becoming a cultural phenomenon that would change how the entire galaxy viewed human civilization. The weapons analysis team arrived early the next morning, their specialized equipment floating behind them on anti-gravity platforms. The lead analyst, an expert with over 50 years of studying ancient warfare, could barely contain their excitement. Today, they would finally test their theories about the Missouri's legendary firepower. Using advanced scanning technology, they began creating a detailed three-dimensional map of the ship's main gun system. The process revealed layer after layer of mechanical genius. The massive gun turrets, each weighing more than a small spaceship, could rotate smoothly using only hydraulic power. No electronic systems, no anti-gravity aids, just pure mechanical engineering. What really caught their attention was the shell loading system. Deep in the belly of the ship, they found the mechanisms that moved massive ammunition from storage to the guns above. The team watched in awe as they reconstructed how it worked. Teams of humans working in perfect coordination, using clever pulley systems and hoists to move shells weighing as much as a modern shuttlecraft. The targeting system left them speechless. The team had expected something crude and inaccurate. Instead, they found an intricate network of mechanical computers that could solve complex firing solutions in seconds. "Look at this," one analyst called out, pointing to a particularly clever bit of engineering. They used mechanical gears to solve equations we teach our children to solve with quantum computers. The most surprising discovery came when they analyzed the gun barrels themselves. The rifling inside each barrel was machined to incredibly fine tolerances, something that should have been impossible with the tools available at the time. Yet here was the proof, preserved perfectly after thousands of years underwater. One young analyst made an interesting observation about the backup systems. Everything had a manual override. If one system failed, the crew could switch to another method almost instantly. This redundancy wasn't high-tech, but it was incredibly practical. It meant the ship could keep fighting even after taking significant damage. They spent hours reconstructing the fire control procedures, piecing together how the crew would have worked together during combat. It was like watching a complex dance come to life. Spotters would relay target information, calculations would be made, orders would be given, and those massive guns would respond with devastating accuracy. The team's ballistics expert couldn't stop shaking their head in amazement. According to their calculations, these weapons could hit targets over 20 miles away, in an age before digital computers or GPS. The more they studied the system, the more impressed they became with how humans had overcome the limitations of their technology. One of the most touching discoveries was a war notebook found in the gun control station. It contained handwritten calculations and notes from the crew members who once operated these weapons. These weren't just machine operators. They were skilled mathematicians and engineers who understood their equipment inside and out. The analysis team also found something unexpected: modifications and improvements made by the crew themselves. Small changes to make systems work better, homemade tools designed for specific tasks, clever solutions to common problems. It showed how humans constantly adapted and improved their technology even in the middle of a war. By day's end, the weapons analysis team had compiled enough data to fill several research volumes. But more importantly, they had gained a new respect for human ingenuity. These weapons weren't just tools of war. They were a testament to human problem-solving and determination. As they packed up their equipment, the team leader made a final note in their report. The Missouri's weapons systems represent more than just military technology. They show us how humans could achieve incredible things through creativity, teamwork, and sheer determination. Perhaps we have something to learn from their approach after all. The research team's exploration of the USS Missouri's living quarters revealed a side of human warfare they hadn't expected. As they moved through the narrow corridors and cramped compartments, they began to understand how humans turned this massive warship into a home for thousands of crew members. The sleeping areas especially caught their attention. Row after row of bunks, stacked 3 high, showed how efficiently humans used the limited space. But it wasn't just about efficiency. They found personal touches everywhere: small shelves where sailors once kept photos of loved ones, hooks for hanging clothes, and even markings on the walls where crew members had measured their heights. The ship's mess hall told its own fascinating story. The alien researchers were amazed by the massive kitchen facilities designed to feed thousands of sailors 3 times a day. They found old menu boards still mounted on the walls, showing how the crew kept everyone well-fed despite the challenges of cooking at sea. The long tables where sailors once ate together spoke of a community that shared more than just a workspace. One of the most interesting discoveries came in the recreation areas. The team found game boards etched into metal tables, showing how sailors passed their free time. They uncovered what appeared to be a library space with empty shelves that once held books and magazines. These weren't just warriors. They were people who needed entertainment and connection during long months at sea. The medical bay was another eye-opening find. Despite their limited technology, humans had created a fully functional hospital within the ship. The operating room, though basic by modern standards, was designed to handle everything from minor injuries to major surgeries. The team was impressed by how much thought went into keeping the crew healthy in such isolated conditions. In the officers' quarters, they'd found evidence of the chain of command that kept this floating city running smoothly. The rooms were slightly larger but still modest, showing that even leaders lived simply aboard ship. They discovered old logbooks and duty rosters that revealed how carefully every aspect of ship life was organized and managed. The laundry facilities showed another aspect of daily life aboard ship. Massive washing machines and drying areas reminded the alien researchers that even in warfare, basic needs had to be met. They found clever systems for water conservation and reuse, proving that humans understood the importance of managing resources at sea. One team member made a fascinating discovery in what appeared to be a ship's store. This small shop would have sold basic necessities and small luxuries to the crew. The finding helped them understand how humans maintained morale during long deployments by providing small comforts from home. The ship's post office was another surprise. The aliens were touched by this evidence that sailors could stay connected with their families even while at sea. They found old mail sorting equipment and imagined how important those letters from home must have been to the crew. Perhaps most impressive was the ship's chapel. This quiet space showed that humans recognized the need for spiritual and emotional support during wartime. The peaceful room, designed to serve sailors of different faiths, revealed a deep understanding of human psychological needs. As day turned to evening, the research team gathered in what was once the crew's mess hall to discuss their findings. They agreed that the Missouri wasn't just a warship, it was a carefully designed community. Every space showed how humans balanced military efficiency with basic human needs. These quarters tell us more about human ingenuity than any weapon system, one researcher noted. They show us how humans could create a functioning society within the confines of a warship, keeping thousands of people working together effectively for months at a time. The engineering section of the U.S. Missouri proved to be a goldmine of surprises for the alien research team. As they made their way through the massive engine rooms, their scanning devices revealed the true genius of human steam power technology. The sheer scale of the machinery took their breath away. The heart of the ship, its boiler system, was an incredible feat of engineering. 8 massive boilers once worked together to generate the steam that powered everything from the main engines to the smallest auxiliary systems. The alien engineers were amazed by how humans had harnessed the simple power of steam to move such an enormous vessel through the water. One of the senior researchers spent hours examining the main turbines. These massive machines had once turned steam power into the mechanical energy needed to drive the ship's propellers. What impressed them most wasn't just the size of these engines, but how efficiently they worked. The humans had somehow managed to get maximum power from minimal fuel use. The auxiliary machinery rooms told another story of human ingenuity. Here, smaller steam-powered systems ran everything from electricity generators to water purification plants. The alien team was particularly impressed by how humans had created backup systems for every critical function. If one system failed, another could take over almost immediately. They discovered something fascinating in the control room: old gauge panels and monitoring stations where engineers once kept watch over their mechanical domain. The layout was so logical that even after thousands of years, the alien researchers could understand how the crew monitored and controlled the massive engineering plant. The electrical systems showed impressive creativity. Without modern power generation technology, humans had developed clever ways to distribute electricity throughout the ship. They found old circuit breaker panels that protected the system from overloads, showing how well humans understood the basics of electrical safety. In the machine shops, they found tools and spare parts that told stories of constant maintenance and repair. The humans hadn't just operated these systems, they had to maintain them at sea, often making repairs while the ship was in motion. The workshops contained lathes, welding equipment, and countless specialized tools, many of which showed signs of frequent use. One discovery particularly excited the team: detailed engineering logs that recorded daily operations, maintenance, and repairs. These documents showed how the crew dealt with problems, revealing a deep understanding of their equipment and an impressive ability to improvise solutions with limited resources. The fuel systems demonstrated another aspect of human practical thinking. The design allowed the ship to carry enough fuel for long missions while maintaining stability. The alien researchers noted how the fuel tanks were arranged to help balance the ship, showing how humans considered multiple factors in their engineering decisions. What really caught their attention was the damage control system. The humans had created a network of pumps, pipes, and valves that could quickly respond to emergencies like fires or flooding. The system was entirely mechanical, yet it could rapidly move water and foam wherever needed throughout the massive ship. The alien team found themselves gaining more respect for human engineering with each new discovery. They realized that what humans lacked in technology, they made up for in practical knowledge and clever design. The Missouri's engineering spaces weren't just about power and propulsion, they were about creating reliable systems that could be maintained and repaired by the crew using basic tools and materials. As they finished documenting the engineering sections, one researcher summed up what they'd learned. These humans didn't just build machines, they built relationships with their technology. They understood every bolt and valve, every pipe and wire. They created systems that weren't just powerful, but maintainable and reliable. Perhaps that's a lesson we've forgotten in our rush to make everything automated. As the alien research team dug deeper into the recovered documents and artifacts from the U.S. Missouri, they uncovered something extraordinary. This wasn't just any battleship. This vessel had played a pivotal role in one of humanity's most significant moments, the formal ending of World War I. The discovery came when they found a perfectly preserved plaque in what appeared to be the ship's main deck. Their translation devices took a moment to process the weathered text, but when they did, the entire research team fell silent. This was the exact spot where representatives had gathered to sign the documents ending the greatest conflict in human history. The team carefully reconstructed the scene using their advanced imaging technology. They could see where everyone had stood that historic day, their positions marked by subtle wear patterns in the deck plates. The sheer weight of history in that spot made even the most seasoned researchers pause in reflection. More artifacts began to surface as they searched the area around the sighting site. They'd found old photographs, preserved within waterproof containers, showing crowds of sailors watching the ceremony. The images captured a moment of profound change, the end of one era and the beginning of another. The ship's log from that period was another remarkable find. Though damaged by time, enough remained readable to give them insights into the events leading up to the surrender ceremony. The entry spoke of preparation for the event, describing how the crew worked tirelessly to ready the ship for its role in history. One particularly moving discovery was a letter written by a crew member describing the surrender ceremony. The writer captured the mix of emotions that day: relief that the war was ending, pride in their ship's role, and hope for a peaceful future. The alien researchers found themselves deeply touched by the human perspective on such a momentous event. The team's historians were especially excited to find technical drawings showing how the ship had been prepared for the ceremony. Special modifications had been made to accommodate the historic event, showing how much thought and care went into every detail. Even the placement of flags and ceremonial items had been carefully planned. As they pieced together more of the ship's history, they discovered that the Missouri's role didn't end with the surrender ceremony. The vessel had continued to serve, participating in later conflicts while carrying the weight of its historic past. It was a testament to how humans preserved and honored their history even while moving forward. The discovery of communication records from the surrender period revealed another layer of the story. The coordination required to bring together representatives from different nations, manage security, and ensure everything went smoothly was impressive. It showed how humans could work together even in the aftermath of bitter conflict. Perhaps most poignant were the personal items found near the sighting site: a pocket watch that had stopped at the exact time of the ceremony, a camera that had captured the historic moment, and a pen similar to those used to sign the documents. These simple objects helped the alien researchers connect with the human experience of that day. One researcher noted that everywhere they looked, they found evidence of how this single location had become a symbol of both war's end and peace's beginning. The Missouri wasn't just a warship anymore, it had transformed into a symbol of reconciliation and hope. The team worked late into the night, carefully documenting every detail of their findings. They knew they were uncovering more than just historical facts. They were touching a moment that had changed the course of human history. Even after thousands of years, the power of that moment still resonated through the ship's preserved remains. The final report about the U.S. Missouri discovery sent waves through the galactic scientific community. As the Elder Council published their findings, research institutes across thousands of worlds began downloading and studying the data. The impact was far greater than anyone had expected. Universities quickly updated their courses on human history. Lecture halls that once taught about primitive Earth technology now showcased the Missouri as an example of human innovation. Students gathered around holographic displays of the ship's systems, studying how humans had accomplished so much with simple mechanical solutions. The most surprising change happened in engineering schools. Professors began challenging their students to solve problems using only mechanical systems, inspired by the Missouri's design. If humans could do this with gears and steam, imagine what you could do with our technology, became a common phrase in workshops across the galaxy. Military historians were particularly excited by the discoveries. They organized conferences to discuss how humans had managed such complex operations without advanced computers. The Missouri's combat coordination systems, though old, showed brilliant solutions to problems that still challenged modern ship designers. But it wasn't just the technical aspects that caught everyone's attention. The stories of daily life aboard the ship fascinated people across the galaxy. The way humans had created a complete floating community, managing everything from food to entertainment, sparked new research into human social structures. Art galleries began hosting exhibitions featuring reconstructions of life aboard the Missouri. Visitors could walk through holographic recreations of the ship's corridors, experiencing how the crew lived and worked. These exhibitions helped people understand that behind all the impressive technology were real humans living real lives. The discovery changed how the galaxy viewed human creativity. Scientists realized that humans hadn't needed advanced technology to solve complex problems. They just needed determination and clever thinking. This led to a whole new field of study focused on human problem-solving methods. research teams began applying human mechanical solutions to modern problems. They found that sometimes the simple, reliable systems humans had developed worked better than complex electronic ones. Engineering firms started looking for ways to combine human mechanical ingenuity with modern technology. The Missouri's role in ending a global conflict particularly touched many alien cultures. The idea that a warship could become a symbol of peace resonated deeply. Historical societies began studying how humans transformed places of conflict into monuments of reconciliation. Educational programs across the galaxy started teaching young aliens about human innovation. They used the Missouri as an example of how creative thinking could overcome technological limitations. Students learned that progress wasn't just about having advanced technology, it was about using whatever tools you had in clever ways. The most lasting impact was on how the galaxy viewed ancient human civilization. The Missouri proved that humans hadn't just survived with limited technology, they had thrived and innovated. This led to a complete reassessment of human achievements from other time periods as well. As the research project officially concluded, the Elder Council made an unprecedented decision. They designated the U.S. Missouri site as a protected historical landmark, ensuring it would be preserved for future generations to study and admire. They understood that this ship wasn't just a relic, it was a testament to human ingenuity that still had lessons to teach.